All right. Hey, everybody. I'm Robert with Zenfolio Customer Support. Today, we're going to be talking about using pre-order and prepay to increase your sales for school and sports photography. We're going to talk about why pre-order is important, talk about some strategies when you're using pre-order. We'll also talk about how you add that pre-order link to your school landing page. And then the final thing that we'll be talking about today is getting those pre-order reports. So super important to know how to get those reports, know what you can do with them. Lots of good stuff in there. All right, so why is pre-order important? Well, if you do any kind of volume photography at all, or maybe you're getting into volume photography or you're wanting to, one of the things that you need to know is that if you offer pre-order, you're going to increase your sales by I think it's like 20%, right? So if you don't offer any kind of pre-order, there's 20% of sales that you lose just by not offering that. That's a pretty well-known fact in the volume industry. And so that's why it's important to offer that pre-order, because you are going to just increase your sales just by the simple fact of offering it, right? And in most cases, before, the way that we would typically offer pre-order in volume photography is usually it would be, at least for what I did, was that usually it would be an order form that was passed out at the school or at the sports leagues out to the parents. They would fill it out, that order form, and then bring it in with picture day. With COVID, now a lot of that paper order form passing around is just something that's not possible, not practical to do. And to be quite honest, who really wants to sit around and translate a bunch of data from written form into orders, right? That is a lot of work. And so one of the things you can do is you can take that whole process online, right? And one of the benefits of taking that process online, actually a couple of the benefits are that it goes completely contactless, right? There's not a paper order form that's being passed around. But two, it is allowing you to collect data that is going to, at the point when it's collected, it already exists in a usable format, meaning that you can export it as a spreadsheet, you can manipulate it, you can do all kinds of stuff with it. And I can't tell you how important it is to have that data in a usable format like that, because if it's just pencil or pen on a piece of paper, there's not much you can do to it until you translate that into some kind of data sheet or spreadsheet or something like that. A couple of the strategies that you can use if you're just now looking at offering pre-order, a couple of the strategies that I've seen used and a lot of successful photographers use is they'll offer discounts, right? So for instance, if you're doing youth sports or school photography, you might tell your parents, hey, if you pre-order, you're going to save 20%. Or if you pre-order, I'm going to throw in free shipping. Or if you pre-order, I'm going to give you this, right? It gives you the opportunity to give parents an incentive as to why they should go ahead and place an order. And this just puts that money in your pocket sooner rather than later, right? In my Zenfolio account over here, we're going to create a pre-order. I'm going to show you what it looks like. And then again, we're piggybacking off of last week. I'm going to show you how to get that added to your school's landing page. And then I'll also talk to you about a couple other things I like to mention when we talk about pre-order and distributing that pre-order link. So the first thing that we're going to do is we're going to go inside of Zenfolio and we're going to go up to selling right here. And in this little drop-down menu, there is a pre-order option. You can click right in there if you want. Now, I am a creature of habit. I've been working in Zenfolio for a long time, and for the longest time, we didn't have this pre-order option. So I am used to just clicking on selling and then accessing the selling features from the selling screen. So if that's what you're used to, you can just click on selling and then scroll to the bottom, and pre-order is down there as well. All right, so once we're in here, we're going to click on pre-order. And then we're going to click the create a new pre-order button right down here. Let me zoom in a little bit so you guys can see this. And then what we're going to do in here first is we're going to enter a pre-order name. Now, when it comes to actually naming your pre-orders, this is what I recommend that you do. If you photograph multiple schools, multiple sports organizations, multiple sports leagues, anything like that, what I would recommend that you do is create a pre-order per school or per league. It's going to help you out in a couple of different ways. One, it's going to allow you to offer different options at different price points if you need to for those different schools and those different leagues. It's also going to allow you to set up different expiration dates for those pre-order links, because your pre-order link can have an expiration date. The other thing that it's going to do is when it comes time to pull those pre-order reports, it's going to have that stuff nicely organized by the different pre-orders. And if you're naming it for your schools, then it's already going to have that school's name in there, and you don't have to try and remember which pre-order this was for. All right. Now, what I would recommend doing is creating a template. So like if you're going to offer your schools a lot of the same options and you don't want to have to create a new pre-order every single time from scratch, what I would recommend that you do is that you would create kind of a template, right? And then you can duplicate the template and modify the name of that pre-order for whichever particular school you're creating the pre-order for. So I'll kind of show you that. So let's just say that this is our, we're going to call this our school template. All right. And I'm going to come down here and I'm going to create packages first. Okay. So one thing that is really cool about pre-order is you can use it with Zenfolio's vendor products. You can actually import price lists that you've already made in here. And if you want to do that, you want to check it out, definitely it's worth checking out if you already are using Zenfolio's integrated vendors. There is a link, there is a video, there's not a link, there is a video that talks about that specifically, and I'll have Richard throw the link out in chat for you guys to check that out. So it's called Creating a Pre-Order Using Zenfolio's Integrated Vendors. The options that I'm going to be talking about today are if you want to self-fulfill this stuff, right? Maybe you print your own, maybe you like to do a bulk order through a lab once everybody's placed their orders. That's the option that I'm going to be walking through today. But if you would like to have it where it's set up to drop ship to your clients and you want to use one of our integrated vendors, that option is there as well. But everything we're doing today is self-fulfilled. Okay, so the first thing we're going to do is come down here and we're going to give up this package a name. We're going to create a package. Now you do need to have at least one package in your pre-order, especially if you want to offer add-ons, and we'll talk about that in a second. All right, so we're going to go in here and we're going to enter the package name. I'm just going to call this package, this is package A. And we're going to enter a description here. Now, I'm not really going to write anything. I'm just going to put this is the description. This way you guys can see exactly what this looks like to a client. And then we'll go here and we'll say, okay, this is package A. This is going to be our cheapest package. I'm going to make it $30. And then for $30, the client is going to get, we'll say they'll get one 8x10 print. We'll say individual photo. And then we'll say they also get a 5x7 class photo. All right. And let me fix that here. Okay. So there we go. That is our package A. Quick note, none of this stuff that I'm putting on here are pricing suggestions. I'm throwing numbers out here. Definitely make sure that you, which I'm sure all of you guys know what your price needs to be at. Okay, so we've created our first package. And what we can do is if we want to create another package, and maybe we just want to add a few more options, we can just kind of duplicate this one and then modify, right? So I could say, okay, this is going to be package B. And in package B, we're going to charge, let's say, we'll say $36. And we're going to throw in a set of wallets. All right. Wallets, set of 8. All right. And so we have package A and package B here. We have the pricing already on here and it's all set up to go. You can continue adding packages if you want. You can have quite a bit of products in here. Again, whenever it comes to selling, whenever it comes to offering your clients different options, I really recommend that you think about keeping your selections limited, right? Making sure that you're not overwhelming them with a ton of options, because one thing that you want to think about is that this is pre-order, right? And so we're taking pre-order. One thing that would be nice is if there were products that were available later on down the road that may not have been available in pre-order. Maybe they're new products that you have now available that once you upload the images to the client's gallery, there's now these new products that they can purchase as well, hopefully getting them to spend a little bit more money on in that gallery as well. So something to think about there. Okay. So a couple of things I forgot to mention, or one thing I forgot to mention, you can upload an image for your package. Now I'm not going to upload one today, but you can upload an image here. Keep in mind the image does need to be exactly 300 by 200 pixels. You need to crop it at that exact size. If you don't, if you have it off, if you upload a photo that's not in that particular ratio, it's going to appear skewed and kind of wonky looking to the client. You don't want that. So make sure that you crop your images that you're using for those placeholders at 300 by 200. Okay. All right. So now that we've got some pre-order packages in here, what we'll do is we'll go down here. I'm not going to use a customizable package in this pre-order, but I do want to take a second to explain what these are. Basically, with a customizable package, you give your clients the option to choose a certain amount of products from a list of items at a set price. So if I wanted to offer a customizable package, I could say, okay, for $40, you can choose any 3 of the items below, and then I could have an 8 by 10, I could have a 5 by 7, I could have wallets. I could say 8 wallets, and maybe I have a 5 by 7 class photo. Okay. So for $40, they could pick any 3 of these options. They could pick 3 8 by 10s. They could pick an 8 by 10, a 5 by 7, and some wallets, or they could pick 3 5 by 7. So they have that option. The reason that I am not a huge fan of the customizable package is because it adds an extra layer of complexity when it comes to doing the self-fulfillment. Because whenever you have your packages named up here and created, you know what package B is, right? Because package B is always going to be the same. It's going to be 8 by 10s, 5 by 7s, and a set of wallets. It's going to be whatever you created it to be. Whereas with the customizable package, if I just call this custom package, that means that when I'm going through and doing these self-fulfillments, anytime somebody orders one of those custom packages, I have to stop my process or my workflow and make sure that I really go in and look and see what option they checked, because I could have 5 clients order the custom package. One of those clients might have got 3 8 by 10s. One of them might have got an 8 by 10, a 5 by 7, and a set of wallets. And so you can see where it really adds some complexity there. And that's why I prefer usually not to offer these when it comes to the volume situation or side of photography. And I'm just going to delete this, but it is there if you want to use it. Now, next we're going to talk about add-ons. Add-ons are a pretty cool feature. They can only be purchased by your clients if they buy a package. So something to keep in mind there is that they do have to purchase a package. And these can be whatever you want. These can be things like, do you want to add on retouching? Do you want to add on a frame? Different things like that. Anything that you would call an add-on. Maybe it's keychains, right? Maybe you want to sell keychains or something like that. You can put that in here and put the price. And again, they can only buy these if they buy a package. Okay, so we've gone through, we've talked about packages, we've talked about customizable packages, we've talked about add-ons. And so let's say that we've got, and if you want to offer a la carte items as well, so maybe you don't just want to offer packages, maybe you want to offer a la carte items. Like maybe you want to allow clients to say, okay, I'm going to buy package A, but I would like to add on an extra 8 by 10 or some 5 by 7s. You would create those a la carte items as add-ons. So if I wanted to add an extra 8 by 10 down here, I could say 8 by 10, and I could say, okay, if it's an add-on, an a la carte, it's $10. If I wanted to do a 5 by 7, I could come down here and add that as a 5 by 7. All right. Okay, so we got the pre-order set up. We're going to go down here and click next. And the next thing is probably my favorite thing about our whole pre-order feature. Those of you guys who've hung around long, you know I like to talk about data. Data is so important, especially when it comes to volume photography. It's probably one of the most important things. And our pre-order feature allows you to collect custom data from your clients as they're doing their pre-order. All right. Now, all of these fields that you have in here are going to be required, and you can have up to, I think, 15 different fields in here. So a lot of information. Again, you want to make sure that you're not making it overcomplicated for your clients, but you also want to make sure that you are collecting sufficient information for you to fulfill these orders, right? So this is our school template. So maybe the first thing that we want to collect is not the school name, because again, we are going to be creating these per school. But if you want to put that in there, you could. But maybe we want to know what grade the student is in. We could say grade. All right. We could say down here, if it's maybe a class or a teacher situation where you need to know what their homeroom teacher is, you could say teacher. You could say student first name. You could say student last name. And then we can add some more information in here. We could say, let's go add another one. Maybe we want to get their student ID, right? Maybe we need to get the student ID because we need to match it up for yearbook photos. Maybe we need to use that student ID to keyword into the photos for a Zenfolio restricted event. Being able to obtain some kind of unique identifier per student is pretty helpful when it comes to this stuff. So something to think about here. Do you want to collect student ID? All right. Okay, so again, these fields are required. You can also make drop-down fields as well, right? So when it comes to teacher or grade, maybe the school has supplied you with a list of the students and all of the homeroom teachers' names and all of the grades. And if you want to make a way to where people don't have to type those in, because there could be misspellings, there could be somebody like me with big crazy hands trying to type on their phone and type in the wrong address, and then your brand new phone screen protectors got sent to the wrong address. If you want to prevent that kind of stuff from happening, if you're able to get this information from the school beforehand, you can actually turn these into a drop-down list. So you could say, okay, you know what? I have a list of all the grades. I'm going to toggle this little drop-down, and then I'm going to go in here and put in the grades. And you're going to separate them by commas. So first, second, third, fourth, fifth, sixth, and so on. All right. If you have a spreadsheet and you know a couple of formulas, you can join that stuff together with commas and then copy it all and paste it in here. I think there's a video out there somewhere where I show how to do that. Again, same thing with the teacher, right? If the school provided you with the names of the teachers or the coach or the team names, that's stuff that you could put in here separated. So you could say Smith, Rice, you could say Brady, you could say Jones. The key is that you're putting commas between those values. All right. Okay, we're going to scroll down, click next right here. And a couple of things here. This is client image selection. So this is an option to where if you want to allow your clients to choose the image that you're going to use for their order, you can. Okay, so if you want to do that, you can say yes. And what that means is that you have to upload their images into your Zenfolio account and then email everybody their unique link to go in and select their photos. I'm not going to go into that today. I think I have a video on YouTube about that specifically, and I go into detail about that. Now, if you're going to be choosing the photos for the student, or maybe it's a case where you're doing sports photography and you're only giving them, their one pose, as long as it's a good picture, and then you're giving them the team photo, you can just turn this off. The next field that you're going to look at here is the pre-order custom message. This is any kind of information that you want to give to your clients, right? Maybe you want to say something like, hey, after shoot day, please allow up to 3 to 4 weeks for your photos to be delivered, or something like that. You can put that in the custom message field. And then down here, there's a couple of other things, and then we'll come back up to the link here in a second. So you can have your pre-order optional expire, right? Again, if you're doing these for different schools or leagues, you might have different windows that you want them to be able to pre-order in. So you can come in here and set up an expiration date. And then when that expiration date hits, that link becomes invalid, and it basically redirects people to your homepage on your Zenfolio account. Also in here, you can turn on automatic approval. So this is for self-fulfillment or vendor orders, right? If you guys are familiar, Zenfolio has an approval system. If you don't want to have to approve those orders, if you want it to go in automatically, you can turn that on or you can turn it off. It's totally up to you. Down here is the shipping right here. Okay, so there is a couple of options that you have. Right here is no custom shipping. So this is the option if you're going to have lab fulfilled products be shipped to your clients. The other option here is you're going to have self-fulfilled, where if you're going to have this stuff self-fulfilled in here. Okay, now some people want to know how they can charge shipping on self-fulfilled pre-order. Couple of ways to do that. You can work it into the price of the packages, or you can add it as an add-on, right? So if you have a client who doesn't want to pick up their order from the school, or maybe from the coach, if that's your normal process, and you want to give them the option to have their order drop shipped, you can add that as an add-on on the pre-order. So they could say, oh, have my order drop shipped to me. I'll add that in there, and then they'll pay that shipping fee. So that's an option that you have here. Okay. Okay. So now that we've got this set up, I'm going to click done. All right. And I'm going to get to the link and show you guys what it looks like here in a second. But the reason I clicked done is because we just created that as the template, right? So now when it gets to where I'm actually going to set this up for a specific school, and I have the school's details as far as I know, okay, I'm going to let them pre-order in this time window. I also have their teacher information, and I need to put that specific information into the pre-order. What I can do is I can go find that template, duplicate it, say, yes, I want to duplicate it. Here is the copy right here. And then I'm just going to click the pencil button and we're going to modify that. And this is where we're going to put in the specific name for that school. All right. And so I'm just going to go in here and I'm just going to write East Raleigh in here, and I'm going to put 2021 so that I know this is the pre-order for this year. And then we're going to go down to the bottom and go to next. And then maybe I would need to come in here and modify the teacher names. So I would maybe modify this to the teacher names for that particular school or the grade or whatever. And then we're going to go down here and click next again. And this is where we would come in here and say, okay, I'm going to do this shoot. It's going to be from, let's see, or let's say shoot day is, we'll say that shoot day is February 25th. And I want to let them pre-order right up to February 25th. So I'm going to set the expiration date for this to be the 26th. All right. And so again, that makes that pre-order link work right up until that date. And then it's going to redirect people to your website. So this way, if I'm out on location shooting and somebody's like, I meant to pre-order, but I forgot, can I still go ahead and pre-order? You know, it's before photos still. My son hasn't even had his photo taken. You can say, yes, ma'am, or yes, sir. And you can, however you have the information, right? You can send them the link, you can text it to them, or in a second, I'll show you something that you can do to make it easier for parents and people there the day of shoot to actually place pre-orders, because pre-orders work really, really nicely on mobile. And I'm going to show you a cool trick in just a second. So we've set that expiration date. We're going to scroll down here. Actually, we're going to scroll up here because I haven't showed you the link yet. And we're going to copy this link. So we're going to get the link right here. And this would be the link that people would use to access this. Okay. So what you would then do is, tying back to last week's where we talked about creating that school landing page, you would go into your Zenfolio account, go find that school. And in this case, we're going to pretend like this is Greendale High School. We would go to their landing page here that we created last week. And if you guys, again, if you missed that, I definitely recommend going back and watching that. But we're going to click on the group. We'll go up here to details. And then in the caption, I'm just going to write in here 2021 school photos pre-order link. All right, and then I'm going to highlight that text, use the link tool, and then I'm just going to paste that link that I copied in here and hit open in a new tab. And so now anybody going to this school's landing page can see that pre-order link is available. They can click on it to go place their pre-order. So then you would be working with the school and say, okay, I've got this year's pre-order set up. If you want to email the parents out the link to the school's landing page, they can go ahead and go there, click on the pre-order link and place their pre-orders. So I think I already have that pre-order or that landing page open right here. Let me refresh this really quick and we'll take a look. Now, this doesn't really look like a link. That's because I need to do some work on this theme. Again, this is my demo account. I try to break things. I try to make things look crazy. I would definitely go in here and make sure that that appears like a link, but this is the landing page. The parents would see this. They would click on it. It would open in a new tab, the pre-order landing page. All right. And here's that pre-order page. They could go through here, look at the package options, look at the add-ons. We could add this. And notice right here that says this is the description. It tells you what's in here. If we had added an image to this, it would actually be appearing right above the package right here. Here is that custom information field. And then here's the add-ons. So we can just go in here and add these and then go to checkout. Here is the client information field. So this is the place where we are collecting that client information. Here's the drop downs, right, where the grades are. So really easy, they just select the grade. Here is the teacher drop down. So whatever teacher is in, they would select student first name, last name, student ID. Again, all of those fields are required. They cannot check out without putting information in here. And then they would put in their card and their billing information and then check out or select shipping depending on how you have it set up. Okay, so that is pretty much how you would set that up, get that pre-order link going. Now, I told you guys I would show you a really cool way to use this on the day of the shoot. So let me show you that really quick. We're going to jump back in our Zenfolio account. We're going to go back up here to pre-orders, and we're just going to go get the link to that. So I'm going to go right here to East Raleigh 21. Here's the link. I can grab it from right here. All right. And it's going to open it up and I can just come right up here and copy this. And then what you can do is, let's say that you want to let people pre-order even at the event. But what always happens is you're there, depending on your staff, depending on how you set it up. For me, at least, I was always there by myself or with other photographers who had their own teams to photograph, and parents would always come up and say, hey, can I still pre-order? Hey, can I still pre-order? And I would have to stop and explain things to them. So what you can do is you can get that pre-order link that I just copied and then hop in Google, right? So just hop over to Google and type in free QR code maker or generator or creator or whatever term you use. I'm going to use the very first one right here. All right, and all I'm going to do is I'm going to paste in the link to that pre-order right here, and it is going to create a QR code. All right, now there are services where you can have this really be decorative and branded and all of that stuff. Honestly, you don't really need that. All I'm going to do is download this JPEG, and then I'm going to throw it in Photoshop. And I'm going to print up a flyer to take a couple of flyers to take with me the day of the event that says, yes, you can still pre-order. Scan this QR code to pre-order. You guys can try it out right now. If you guys have your phones, take your phone, go to your camera app. Most native iPhone apps will work, and scan that QR code, and it should take you to that pre-order page. So this is a way that you can still allow parents to pre-order day of the shoot, and it's going to be a way that you can put those flyers up to where hopefully it's going to keep all of those questions from coming to you, and you can focus on what you need to focus on, and it'll also make it nice and convenient for parents to go and place their pre-orders. All right, so definitely something that I would recommend trying out. Okay, the last thing that we want to talk about is what happens when people pre-order. How do I get that information? So when people place their pre-orders, all of that data and all of that information actually goes into your account. And you can see this, you can export reports, you can download them as a CSV file. So there's a lot of options for you to work with these reports. So if we go, and I'll just start out from the photos page, but you can do this anywhere using your header menu up here. So we're going to go up here to selling right here, and you're going to look for reports and payouts. We're going to click in that. And then we're going to go down here to sales report, and then pre-order actually has its own little tab right here. All right, and you're just going to click on pre-order. And then if you don't see anything and you're like, man, I know I've had some pre-orders this year. I know I've had some pre-orders coming. Why aren't they showing up here? Take a look at your date filter right over here, okay? Because this is filtered by date. And I think by default, Zenfolio has it set to be this year, which I haven't done any pre-order this year. So what you would do is come up here and you could adjust it. You could say last year or between these dates to whatever date you know that that pre-order was active and pre-orders were placed. All right, we're going to hit last year. And I have a couple of these in here. And all you would do is select the pre-orders and hit export. Now, one of the things that you can do is you can sort it by pre-order name. So again, going back to when I mentioned name your pre-orders per school, if you had a bunch of different schools pre-ordering at the same time, before you export your report, you might want to click that tab or this header right here, have it organized by that so that you can just export the pre-orders for that specific school, and then you can move on to the next one. But you just select what you want, you hit export right here, and it's going to export a CSV file for you to download with all of that pre-order information right here. All right. Okay, and then from there, however you process your orders, if you're used to doing paper order forms where you're having to go through and read the information, you can use that CSV file, really organize it, make it a lot easier. And from there, it's on you how you kind of want to finalize that process as far as fulfilling those orders if you're doing the self-fulfillment route.